learned it the hard way. Friends never last long. I'm trying to get my cash long. You niggas off point like the bag wrong.
What's good, y'all? It's your guy, official J100 Puff Puff No Pass React, back with another fire ass reaction video. Today, this popped up in my recommended, and I know, bro, from the song Wapty. I had seen it and I liked it, but I ain't know where he was from, none of his background, none of that. So I seen him starting to come up, bro, but it's been a lot of heat with his name lately. Like, it's been a lot of heat with his name. They acting like he a Tekashi 6ix9ine type dude. You know what I'm saying? Henceforth, the title of this video, CJ, Rising Star or Industry Plant. I normally don't do these type of videos, you know what I'm saying? But I'm interested to see because I wanted to know more about the rapper CJ anyway, because that song, Wapty, that shit hot, that shit fire. So before we get into the video, do me a favor, hit that like button for your guy. Hit that like button for your guy. Appreciate you. Now, hit that subscribe button for me too. Hit that subscribe button for me too. And make sure that notification bell is turned on so you will not miss one single reaction from me when I upload, because y'all all know I upload often. Appreciate you. Now, we about to go ahead and get into this video. CJ, if you don't know who CJ is, he made the song Wapty. If you don't know what Wapty is, look it up. Check it out. It's pretty dope to me. But we going to see what's going on. They saying Rising Star or Industry Plant. And I'm interested to see why they saying that. So let's get into it without further ado. Let's go.
Welcome back. So as most of you know,
shout out to Roken Vapes too. Shout out to Roken Vapes. If you're gonna vape the right way.
Sending him into mainstream rap from where he was just a few months back, being a nobody. 99.9% of his fans had never heard of him before Wapty released. So how did he get to where he is today? Of course, some people will say TikTok, which is true. He did have some success on TikTok, but there's more to it than that. Once you do a bit of digging, you find out that there's a lot more to CJ than what you see at the surface. He has a lot more music out than just what you see on his Spotify or his YouTube channel, and he actually has a few collaborations in the past with people who are extremely high profile, and these collaborations are super mysterious, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what happened. And also through doing some digging online, I found out that he's had a lot of help from a relative of his who's really high profile in the music industry, and some of you may know as well. I really like CJ. He seems like a genuine dude, and Wapty is super fire. So I wanted to get to the bottom of how did CJ get to where he is today, and is he an industry plant, and what's really going on with him, because there's a lot of strange stuff that has gone on in the past behind the scenes.
I've seen that logo before.
So let's go. So the official story is that CJ dropped Wapty independently as a smaller artist. It blew up on TikTok, then he got signed, and the rest is history. But there's a much larger, and as I said before, kind of a mysterious history to CJ that you won't see unless
it's still early, so I'm sipping coffee.
Right now, if you take a look at his Spotify, the only tracks you'll see are Wapty and Bop. But he actually has some older music which were removed from his online music profiles, and there's one song in particular that I found extremely interesting. Because as we all know, CJ was pretty much a nobody before Wapty blew up, right? But there's one song in particular which I found extremely interesting. Back from 2018, CJ has a track called Pop featuring 6ix9ine. Yeah, Tekashi 6ix9ine back in 2018. I'm sure I don't have to tell you, but in 2018, 6ix9ine was at the top of the world.
I think that was last year.
He was probably the most talked about rapper in that year. He was everywhere, all over every news site, all over every Instagram.
And keep it real, bro. I only knew about him it's like a promo that they do. I believe it was like Facebook or Instagram promotion where it had popped up on the little timeline, and I seen it, and then I checked it out, and I was like, yeah, that's some heat. I rarely even do that for the paid promo that I be seeing on the social media sites, but I did check that one out. Yeah.
Page. His music was doing 100 million plus on music videos easy. He was everywhere. I don't need to tell you guys that again because we all know it. He was everywhere. There was no avoiding 6ix9ine in that year. So how did a
Is that
no-name
his
rapper
relative?
like
That's what I was thinking.
CJ get a feature
French
verse
Montana
with
his relative?
6ix9ine back in 2018? From everything that I've
There
seen,
we
they
go.
weren't
That's what.
really in the
Yeah.
same
Okay.
circles, so
Okay.
you
I
can
think
really
they
rule out
relatives,
that
bro.
maybe they were friends and 6ix9ine decided to give him a feature verse for free out of the kindness of his heart. And also 6ix9ine had a lot of friends that were also trying to do music that he didn't give feature verses to for free. So I feel like that's kind of unrealistic. I would say that in 2018, a 6ix9ine feature verse would easily go for over $50,000.
Easy.
And obviously, it wouldn't benefit 6ix9ine at all to do a track with CJ back in that time. So why did this
But he
happen?
might have been locked in.
How did this
I
happen?
think boy from
I feel
New
like
York.
even if CJ wanted to cough up maybe over $50,000 for a feature verse,
I think
he
he was
might not
already
even be
locked
able
in.
to get in contact with 6ix9ine. I'm sure he's constantly being flooded with DMs. His manager was being constantly flooded with emails. Rappers in peak popularity like that are hard to get in contact with. So how did this happen? How did CJ get in contact with 6ix9ine back in 2018? My best guess is it was through CJ's uncle, whose name is James Cruz. And James Cruz has worked with many superstars
All right, so
in
he
the
ain't
industry.
related to
He was a
French.
record executive
He
for
related to
years.
James
Specifically, he
Cruz,
was
and
the
he higher
president
up
of
in
Bad Boy
music
Management.
industry, I
He
believe.
described himself like this on his LinkedIn page. In my capacity as president of Bad Boy Management, I played a key role in building the careers of numerous global superstars,
Oh, shit. Yeah,
including
he got
50
some pull in
Cent,
the
Nicki
game.
Minaj,
He
Rick
definitely got
Ross,
some
and
pull in
French
the game.
Montana.
His
And he's
fourth
worked with
wife,
many
CJ
other
signed
celebrity
with,
rappers as well.
French
From
Montana.
interviews that he's given, CJ's uncle, James Cruz, really seemed to take a liking to CJ since he was a little kid. In an interview, he said, CJ became the Kobe of this game in my opinion because he was raised from little to be a superstar. The moment he knew how to talk, he knew how to walk, CJ had a vibe. From a little child, we always knew there was something special. So just to connect the dots here, I assume
Saying that
James
Kobe
Cruz,
name
CJ's uncle, used his connections in the
you know what I'm
industry
saying?
and maybe some of his own money to get CJ the 6ix9ine feature to try to get CJ's career off the ground because remember he wasn't having too much success back in 2018, so maybe they could both make a little bit of money. Because James Cruz is actually CJ's manager now, so he's most likely taking a cut of whatever CJ makes. So maybe back in 2018, he was going to try to get a cut of whatever CJ made off of his music career, trying to get it off of the ground with that 6ix9ine feature to try to push him into the mainstream so he can get more fans and make more money. Of course, that's just a guess, but I feel like it's pretty logical and isn't a stretch to say that. Because really, how else would a no-name rapper be in the studio with 6ix9ine doing a song with him in 2018 when 6ix9ine was at the height of his popularity?
Yeah.
I don't see a way that it would happen without there being a connected dude in the industry who was making this happen, in that case being James Cruz. I just feel like it's the most logical way to go with this. Now, a few years later, James Cruz, who again is CJ's uncle, would use his influence to help get Whoopty off the ground, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So when Whoopty originally released in 2020, it was supposedly released independently with a company called Equity Distribution, which is under Rock Nation. In an interview with Billboard, CJ said he got to run to Jay-Z with his deal with Equity Distribution, which seems kind of abnormal for such a small-time artist like he was before Whoopty blew up. So if you go to the Equity Distribution website right now, CJ is still listed under their artist roster. So maybe he still has to deal with them, or maybe they're just not updating their website very often because he is supposedly signed to Warner and Coke Boys with French Montana now. We'll talk about that in a second because I feel like there's some fishy stuff going on there too. But he made it seem like he's no longer with Equity Distribution. Regardless whether he is or isn't still with Equity Distribution, it seems really weird to me that a small-time artist like he was before Whoopty came out was able to, as he said, quote, run to Jay-Z.
It's rare, but it happens.
Seems weird
And
to me
he already had that connection.
And Jay wouldn't really have
that
time to
connection.
work with even big rappers. He has a lot of business moves to make. I think he's a billionaire, right? He's doing a lot of stuff, and I'm not sure if he was lying about this. I'm not sure he said Jay. Maybe he was talking about somebody else, but Billboard filled it in saying Jay-Z, so I'm assuming maybe they contacted him afterwards and asked, but he's talking about a company under Rock Nation, and he said Jay, so you can assume it's Jay-Z. Maybe it was a small interaction, maybe he's just hyping it up to try to seem cooler, whatever it is. It just seems weird that he's on this roster list along with all these other people who wouldn't be big enough to talk to Jay. It would be ridiculous for them to be able to talk to Jay-Z because he doesn't have that much time to be in such a hands-on role for these people. You have to assume again, if this is true, that it was his uncle, James Cruz, pushing him in there, trying to get him in the industry.
Of course.
He did the same thing as well when Whoopty released. It was getting some attention at first. It wasn't blowing up like it did a few months later, though. James Cruz used his connections to get the song played all over New York.
Hey,
That's right. TurboTax Free Edition is free.
That was a short ad, though.
This one's the perfect gift for the friend who's been getting a little too comfortable during quarantine. Maybe your son, a father.
That's why 2 ads back to back.
York radio and other radio stations, I assume, such as Hot 97. He was friends with a lot of the DJs. You can see on screen right now him shouting out a few DJs that he knows, a few DJs that I'm sure he's helped out in the past or worked with or whatever. He has a personal relationship with them, and he can get them to do whatever they want. That's how a lot of stuff in the industry works, and a lot of people came up the exact same way that it seems like CJ is right now.
Brand new CJ, baby. Staten Island, stand up. New at 2, DGNF, world famous heavy hitters. Let's go.
After that push on the radio, and I'm sure a lot more promotion that we just don't know about, the song really started to pick up steam on TikTok. And I know a lot of people say TikTok is all organic, it's just people making videos about a song, dancing to a song. There's a lot of shady stuff that goes on behind the scenes. There's a lot of people paying influencers to dance to a song, do a TikTok to a song, whatever. It goes on. There's a lot of shady stuff going on behind the scenes. And this very well could have been organic, because I've heard some TikTokers from New York pick this up. But a lot of times when people with big followings pick up a song, it kind of just snowballs and people hop on the trend. So we can assume that's just what happened with CJ and Whoopty. So recently, CJ signed with Warner and now has a partnership with French Montana and Coke Boys as well. But really, I wouldn't be surprised if he'd been signed before Whoopty came out, and maybe even since 2018, back when he had that 6ix9ine feature, because
he probably had a couple
really
deals.
Was getting a push back then from someone. It could have been that he was independent and just getting a push from his uncle, or that he was signed and getting a full label push along with his uncle as well. There's really no way of knowing. But with a lot of industry plans, a similar thing happens where they drop one song, it's supposedly independent, and then they say, oh look, I signed. But then later on, for whatever reason, we find out they had signed before that song originally dropped, and the whole thing was just fabricated to try to make it seem like an organic come up. But all in all, obviously CJ got a push, and there may be more that we don't know about that makes this more egregious or whatever. I really don't know. There's a lot of stuff saying that he's faking gang affiliations. There's been some phone calls of like OGs in the scene. I really don't know anything about the New York gang scene, so I'm not going to speak on that whatsoever. Maybe you can do your own research if that's your thing, but really I just want to go on the industry side of things in this video. But I honestly don't see anything wrong with helping out your family. If I was James Cruz, I would do the same thing for a relative of mine. If I was CJ, I'd be happy I had an uncle who's willing to help me out like that. Really, that's how the music industry has been going for the past 100 years. In the last 10 years, we've been getting used to seeing artists come up at least kind of organically. I know there's still more behind the scenes stuff we don't know about, but we thought of this as the norm. But really, in the music industry, all this nepotism kind of stuff is the norm. You really have to know somebody to be able to get in the industry. I feel like it all comes down to the music. If you enjoy the music, just enjoy the music and don't care about the rest. But I gotta admit, I don't like when people fake a come up. I don't like when people pretend to have like a story. I started from the bottom, I came from rags to riches, all this stuff. But really, they got a hand up. They got some help from a rich family member or a family member connected in the industry. And I'm not even really talking about CJ here. There's a lot of other people that like to talk about, oh, I started with humble beginnings, but then we find out, oh, they had rich parents who were connected in the industry. And people like Travis Scott as well, who I think make really good music, and maybe he could be considered an industry plant. There was some stuff in his past that people said that about him. I'm not making any judgments here, but look at Travis Scott. I feel like he's considered, I consider him like this at least, to make better music than like 90% of rappers. I really enjoy Travis Scott's music, and I don't care if he's an industry plant or whatever. Cool. I don't think about it. It's really just about the music. So that's the mentality I like to use for this industry plant stuff, but I still do find it interesting, and in the future I'll probably still make more industry plant videos, because sometimes it's way more interesting and egregious than something like this. But I'll leave it up to you guys.
I don't know, bro. I don't think industry plant. He just got some help from his uncle, which, if you family, man, that's what you do. Family helps family at the end of the day. No matter what, family helps family. Family should help family. Let me say that. But industry plant, no. Rising star, yeah, bro. If he false claiming, he got to get all that shit cleared up, of course. But hey, I'm a fan of that song, bro. So I'm interested to see what else he gonna be dropping in the future. He got his deal, so it can only go up from here, hopefully. But I seen downward spirals once a lot of artists signed them deals. So we'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. But that was another reaction video. That was CJ, Rising Star, or Industry Plant. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below, man. I want to know y'all feedback. Give me y'all feedback. Now, you know what time it is. It's time for me to get the fuck up out of here. Until the next one, my good people.
Yeah.